Hello, the internet, and at the jungles of Africa to review the 1999 Disney film Tarzan. The Disney Renaissance is considered by many to be one of, if not Disney's best eras, where many of their films were either box office hits and critical wins. But of course, all good things must come to an end. And the film that concludes the Disney Renaissance, the film based on the Edgar Rice novel and the man raised by gorillas, Tarzan. After Kala lost her baby from a leopard, she finds a house in a tree where she finds a human baby who has just lost his parents. Kala adopts the baby and names him Tarzan, much to the reluctance and carnage of her mate Kerchak. Tarzan grows up into a man and would soon encounter, for the first time ever, humans like him, which include Professor Archimedes Q. Porter, Hunter Clayton, and the professor's daughter, Jane. Tarzan ends up saving Jane and would end up learning more about the human world, and even having some feelings for Jane, which puts him at odds with both the humans and his gorilla family. To make things even more complicated, Clayton might have a hidden agenda that could be a danger. Now, for a Disney animated film, this is quite a unique film for the studio. Tarzan is quite action-packed, intense, emotional. However, I have to admit that this film isn't perfect, as it does have its flaws. The big one is the tone. While yes, this is a Disney film and there must have some comedy to light things up, but considering the more dramatic and serious tone of the movie, it can come across as jarring at times, not to mention that the humor can be a mixed bag, where some can be quite charming, while others can make the film obnoxious. Plus, our villain Clayton is pretty much a Diet Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. I mean, he does have his moments, and he can be threatened at times. Plus, Brian Bless does a strong performance. Brian Bless! Big barnacles! But in comparison to other villains like Gaston, Jafar, Scar, Frollo, and Hades, he's kind of a generic foe that serves his purpose. But enough of complaining, let's get into the actual good stuff in this film. While the humor of the film can be hit and miss, the dramatic stuff is also good. Tarzan's journey of self-discovery is quite gripping as you feel the struggles he goes through, plus his relationships with the people can be either heartwarming, tragic, and sometimes funny. In addition, this film isn't afraid to be dark at times. For example, beginning of the film is the death of Kerchak and Kala's baby. Now that's hardcore. And of course, I can't forget the bit about that brutal death of Clayton. Just look at that! Now let's talk about the characters of this film, outside of Clayton. First we have, of course, Tarzan himself. Like I said before, his arc is really intriguing as he struggles with either his gorilla family and his human friends. Plus, Tony Goldwyn did a really strong performance as the ape man. There's also Jane, a very likable character, as she and Tarzan have a believable relationship. Plus, she delivers some of the funniest lines in the film. There's Kala, who is such a loving and caring mother to Tarzan, even if he's not an ape. There are so many moments with her, and that are just either tearjerker or heartwarming. There's Kerchak, who, unlike Kala, is very cold towards Tarzan. Considering that he lost his own son, you can kind of understand why he would have a hard time accepting Tarzan, which makes it very satisfying that he comes around and even risks his own life towards the end. And then there are the comic reliefs of the film, Turk and Tantor. While I do find Turk pretty annoying at times, I did find Tantor to be a charming enough character thanks to his timid personality and performances by Wayne Knight. Visually, as to be expected from Disney, it looks amazing. The jungle is very lush with vibrant colors, and the animation is amazing as well. especially with the character emotions. You can see how a character feels just by their emotions. And of course, there are some awesome action sequences that blend CGI very well, especially since this film uses a technique called deep canvas. It's a software that allows artists to paint over 3D objects, and it looks freaking great. And there are some shots where I forgot that it was even CGI. That's how impressive it is. And of course, like with The Road to El Dorado, I can't talk about this film without mentioning the songs by Grammy Award winner Phil Collins. People are split on these songs. Some absolutely love them, others find them unnecessary. Personally, I find myself in the former. I love these songs. They are catchy as heck, have great lyrics, etc. Some people complain that it isn't a musical, but for me, not every Disney animated film needs to be a musical. It's okay for just Phil Collins to sing in the songs. I also had to admit that even though I'm not a Turk fan, the trash in the can moment is a bit of fun for me, since it just sounds catchy as heck. To conclude, while Disney's Tarzan is flawed with some outplaced comedy and forgettable villain, it makes up for some really gripping drama, some likable main characters, beautiful animations, and awesome Phil songs. I give this an 8 out of 10. Not the greatest, but still worth a watch. Now, Felix, but before we go, there's just one last thing to do.